let us proceed. Colleagues, thank you so much for accepting the invite. We're going to have continuous business lectures. This is the first one. Since September, we're going to have another one in September or October, another one in November and December. Different topics, because what we want to do at the end of the day, we want to grow, especially our business, our professions, lawa one. So hence we prefer kakhulu ukuthi masi invite ikhanda le company kube lona elifika. Ngiyabona ukuthi yazi ukuthi une agent application kumele udile naye enkantolo, but you made a means ukuthi ube khona. So and again making sure ukuthi we network, communicate. So suyamazi ukhwezi Mr. Mo, suyamazi ukhwezi kunene. If there's something oyidinga lapha you play house. Yabona? So nangu ukhwezi. Usuyamazi uPhuthulana. NoPhuthulana usuyamazi mo financial consultant. Nawe ukhwezi usuyamazi financial consultant. Nayi lawyer. Makho into okuhluphayo. So I'm saying khona uzoba IT, marketing, everything is here. Khona ama accountants. So we are here. The money must circulate amongst. Yeah. That's the principle. Before you go outside, make sure to also exhaust all the services within us. Then besuphumela ngaphandle uthi ngoba ngikutholi lokho la ngakuthini, let me go outside. So today I'm not teaching on leadership, but bengizowenza an example ukuthi you hardly find an accountant, a white person using a black accountant, or a white person using a black lawyer. They make sure they work as a group, but now we fail to work as a group. And is it a crime to work as a group? No, but we were taught that we can't work as a group. We're a rainbow nation, we must work with anyone. But in terms of the economy, that does not happen. So it does not materialize when it comes to the economy. And it starts here. At NMC, we created a business or a program called NMC Business Development. We gathered a small a group of entrepreneurs from 2018, and today most of them are doing very well in different markets. I'm talking about Spa. Some of them are, Uzamo has got now 2 trucks, agriculture. But the principle is, everything that you need, look amongst us first. If you want services, look amongst us. If you want catering company, content us. Anything that you want cleaning services, detentions, our own dishwashing liquid, buy it from us before you're eating a Pick and Pay. That's a principle. So we're gonna want to expand that platform even now to the professional companies. There are so many who are coming, I think in October, because we said there's COVID, we're gonna use this boardroom in the meantime. So we're gonna be changing, but if you wanna still be part of the October lecture, because the group is gonna expand. I'm expecting, as I said, spoke with some of the municipal managers. They might not come today, but October after elections and December, then we might see as well, even provincial. That we spoke with to Omamza, I'm a special advisor to the Premier, but because of the cabinet today, she couldn't make it. So we want to create such a platform where we know each other at a closer range. Yabo? Then they go to let it document ngizokhulumela nomeya again. Sifuna ukuyiqeda, we want to do it here. So change management. That's what we're talking about. I said let us deal about change management because I think people may have a negative attitude toward change. And then I said when I was invited by Ivoma FM, I said the greatest threat to any business is not change, but ignorant management, not being aware of what is happening around you. That's what is dangerous. That's what's becoming a threat to you, but not change, because change is constant. Change is constant. So it's very important to be aware about what is happening and then take some action. Take action. So change itself, remember change, there are some positives and there are some negatives from change. So you cannot view change as something which is negative, but because we were taught that when something is changing, you're gonna lose something, and then we tend to believe that I might lose something if I accept change, and then we end up resisting change. But change is not a bad thing. Naturally, you have to grow. You are born as a child and then you grow. That's what we call change. So change is constant. So even in business, change is constant. So we must find a way of living and managing change even in business. So I said change can either break or elevate your business. That's change. There are two things that can happen when change comes. Change can either break or elevate your business. You need to decide what needs to happen. So before COVID, your business was doing very well. And then after COVID, it's not doing well. Change, certain things have changed. So you need to decide what you're going to do. Do you maximize the opportunity that comes with change? Because so far, everything changes. Everything changes. Then there are 8 principles about change. Number 1, change is real. Change is real. Change is realistic. When you were 15 years old, Babtembe, ekhanda wawunjengongqubeko. But in 15 years to come, something might happen. Am I lying? Change. Your body changes. So change is real. So what is the problem here? We have professionals who believe that change cannot affect them. Change is real. If you want to know how change can break or elevate your company, ask Ericsson, ask Nokia, ask Koda. So change is real. You know, there are people who are believing that you will never have a car that can be driven without fuel. But someone made it happen. Elon Musk. So change is real. Secondly, we cannot run away from change. We cannot run away from change. So one day, one of your best employees will leave you. Then what will happen to you? So employees will leave. It's part of change. The best one, they will leave. So you cannot run away from that. People have to leave the company. So when you're in business, nothing must take you by a surprise. If you are running a business, you must make sure nothing takes you by a surprise if you are owning a business. Because you cannot run away from change. Umuntu obalekela ushintsho is someone is like someone obalekela isithunzi sakhe. You were built with change in you. Same thing applies to a business. Businesses were built with change. So a business has to change. You cannot do one and the same thing for decades and expect to be the same. So we cannot run away from change. Change is always available. Change is always coming. Number 3, change cannot be avoided. You cannot avoid change. That is reason I said let us have a discussion about change, because I saw so many professionals complaining about the change that we've seen in the past 2 years. And I said change itself is not bad. Because naturally, change has to come. Change has to happen. We were built with change in our system. So we cannot avoid change. Number 4, change will come. Whether we like it or not, change will come. So one day you will die. Someone has to take over in your business. Someone has to be the CEO. Are you ready for that? There was a friend of mine passed away. He was owning a company, a successful company, and he passed away. He had to close it. It's an accounting firm in Durban. Colleagues, change will come. We are not permanent. That is, I said, let us have a discussion about change management. Because we are the only group, especially black professionals, that does not prepare itself for change. If you look at how the Indian community or the Asians, when the father is the CEO, they work with their children as early as 5 years. They are in business. Because now that you have to prepare for change. One day I want to be able to wake up from my bed, not that I will be dead, but because of a stroke. Who will take over? Change will come, whether we like it or not. So we mustn't do business as if we don't know what will happen tomorrow. Nothing should take us by surprise if we are in business. So we must try. The purpose is to make sure that you build a business that will live after you have passed away. The business will live even if you're in the grave. Your business has to live. You see, the mentality of building a one-man shop must be dealt with, especially in the house of black people. Once Vusitembe is gone, then we have to shut down the firm, or have to look for someone. The legacy is gone. So change will come. We need to prepare for change. Change is seasonal. Change is seasonal. So what does it mean? It means if you don't see it today, doesn't mean it's not there. It's there. It's coming. Just like winter. You know for sure there will be winter. So you must know there will be change. So prepare yourself for change. Change is seasonal. So it's part of our system. To everything there's what? There's a season. So there will be a time when your business will be doing very well. And there will be a time when the business won't be doing well. What are you going to do? So you must prepare for such seasons. That's why we were teaching some young people back then that when you get a tender from government, a 1 million tender, the 1 million rand is not a profit. So don't use the 1 million rand to go and commit. So there must be some cost, expenditure. And then from that money, reserve something, because you will not always get something from government. Reserve something that will keep you going up until you get something else. Because change is seasonal. There are good times in business and there are bad times. So we must prepare for all of them. And change can be painful, unpleasant. It is not nice to change things in the environment that you've been in for years. Because one is working with different companies, government companies, so there are times when we have to restructure the packages of the CEOs and CFOs. That thing is not good, but there's a choice. Do you want to go home and earn nothing, or you can take a knock from your salary? What do you want to do? So change can be painful and unpleasant, but it must be managed. Because you cannot run away from it. Then change requires management, not resistance. Change, colleagues, requires management, not resistance. You can't resist change. Those who try to resist change are no more today. The companies that undermined the impact of change are nowhere to be seen today. And I was talking to some of the colleagues in the past week. I said, I'm worried about the print media industry because we are going digital. I wonder if they do have a plan. If you are working in the print media, or print them paper Sunday, you have to print and go by. We are digital now. I'm sure in 2 years to come, that thing will be gone. What plan do you have if you go into digital media? In print media. Do you have a plan? Because the world is becoming digital. What plans do you have? So this requires management. Change must be managed. You don't resist it. So you accept that change is here and you put plans in place of managing that change. And those who resist change don't make it in business. Companies that were resisting change are nowhere to be seen today. I think the CEO of Nokia confessed later that we tried everything, but it was too late. It was too late. So you don't undermine anything. There's nothing when people are proposing something, don't ignore it. Position yourself. If this can happen, how would I deal with it? If COVID vaccine can be mandatory, what will happen to your business and what will happen to you? That's how you need to process things. So change requires what? Management. When March last year, 2020, President announced what the lockdown, and we started complaining about that. But the truth is, it was beyond our control. So what do you do in such circumstances? Do you keep on crying or you try to manage this thing? Because the impact that COVID had in our businesses is severe. But what do you do? Do you resist and say, I'm going to go and continue and work by force? Or you try and find a way of managing change? Because it means now some of your clients will be affected. You won't be able to get your money on time. How do you deal with this? Management. Change requires management, not resistance. And the last one, it says change requires consistent learning and development. Change requires consistent learning and development. Not only ukuyokwenza formal education, but learn. Be a learner, be a continuous learner if you're in business. I was, so I met this young entrepreneur who is running a business, Lamatex, Metrotix. And I'm saying to him, go to Acaciaville, get my mother, Umuse, a spa, because I've booked his spa. It was her birthday, I'm sure you remember. Mhambiseke spa. Mthathe ekhaya umse spa ngemnike direction. How do I get there? I've given you location. I said, no, but I can't use it. I said, but you're in business. We are running a company. How come you're not aware that you can just press a location from your phone? It will take you straight to my destination. So learning, that's how you lose opportunities. Opportunities will pass you because you don't want to learn. Continuous learning and development. Develop yourself so that you can reposition yourself and maximize each and every opportunity that comes your way when it comes to change. So continuous learning and development is not only going to get a degree. I think now I'm done with formal education. Only PhD is outstanding, then I'm done. But thereafter, you need to just download books, learn, go to YouTube, continuous learning, watch videos. What we are doing here too is just part of that. Continuous learning. I think all of us understand continuous CPD, continuous professional developments. In your profession, in accountants, you must continue learning about tax because things are changing. We're no longer saying it's a balance sheet. What do we call it? Statement of financial position. Those who doesn't learn, when we start in a board meeting, say, where's the balance sheet? The name has changed. Continuous learning. You must stay relevant. This will make you stay relevant. Even the services that you offer in your company, they must be relevant, colleagues. Offer relevant services to people, not in the outdated. Even the marketing style of your business must be relevant to what is happening today. So advertise for what? Change. People are no longer buying a magazine for adverts. They can go to Facebook, Instagram, anywhere. So change needs you to be developed. Know what is trending. I was surprised one day when I heard this Pastor Ndebele spoke about an old man in Angola. I said, you need to know what is trending. I said, hey, I wish to be like this man. In his 50s, he knows the word trending. You don't need to know. When you're in business, you need to know what is trending. If you're a fashion designer, you need to know what is trending. Change. Because the designing one side good. That's what we are supporting. You know, it's outdated. So change requires consistent learning and development. Then I need to talk about causes. Okay. So the greatest benefit of change here is what change compels us to be innovative. That's the greatest benefit of change. Change compels us to be innovative. So if your business was doing good before COVID and after COVID is doing bad, then innovate. So how long are you going to cry that the business COVID has destroyed us? What else can you do? So change compels us, forces us to be what? Innovative. If this plan does not work, what else can you do? Can you diversify? I spoke with some of the accountants. I said, we need to learn now because there are so many. I think the industry of accountant is on a red ocean, saturated. There are so many accountants. I said, no, we need to be smart now. While you are in accounting, diversify. Learn to diversify. You cannot always sell bookkeeping, auditing, and risk. How many of us are there? So diversify. So change forces us to be innovative. To be innovative. And I said again, I wonder how many of you are still printing agendas in your workplace. So we don't print them anymore. They're coming online, on digital. So what happens to the industry? Paper industry. That's the question. So they have to innovate. They need to come up with something else. A new product. That's innovation. Mix the old and the new. Produce something. People are sick. We are still giving them Coke with acid. They like it like that anyway. But if you want to make it, innovate. What are the side effects of drinking too much Coca-Cola? And you want to get into business of fruit juice, right? That's why I spoke with tenants and said to her, you need to be unique. Back in 2018, I said, we need to be unique. Let yours be unique. So it must help me. It must bring something in my body. I'm not suppose that they are killing us. So change. Brought by C4 Mzimbeni. So it compels you to be innovative. What else can you do that is different from what KZ has done in the past? Innovation. These things come as a result of change. So if I'm coming to you with your policies and everything that you have, what else can you give me that I cannot get it from Utula? If both of you are consultants, financial consultants. Innovation. What will make me come to you and leave him? Besides, because we say, yes, we have to support us, black people, and we truly have to do that. But what sets you apart? NMC started as an accounting firm. This company started as an accounting firm back in 2014 when I was established. I said, this will be an accounting firm. But as I continued with learning, I said, no, I need to be different. I need to be different. As a result, if you look at this item here, you see the services that are here. Your risk auditing is a last service. But the one that are at the top are the one that are selling like hot cakes. Because we're not familiar with those. We thought an accounting firm can only offer bookkeeping, tax, how to Kosanja no RP5, let me help you. No. We said we need to apply something different here. Change management is a service on its own. How do you manage change in your business? So something like that. So you need to think. Change forces you to be innovative. And then what are the causes? And this is where my concern is. Now, there are people who always tell us to stay out of politics. Politics is a factor that causes change. It's the greatest factor that causes change. When I always talk about this example. When Donald Trump came into power in America, he said, buy American and hire American. That's on its own is already a threat to your business. What are you going to do? You work with a company in the USA, which manufactures cars, and then they buy parts from you. But now the president says you need to have a policy which says, if you are in America, American companies must buy American. We've got states in America. Make sure that what you want is not available here in America first before you go out. And there are consequences if you go out. So what happens to your business? You are here in South Africa. You're starting to suffer. So politics is a major factor that brings change. So you can't ignore it. Then which is your religion, telling people to stay out of politics, you are a pastor. It's nowhere to be found. Cannot be founded then. You can't, because these things, they are, listen, we are going towards the 1st of November, 2021 local government elections. So you need to vote. How do you vote? You read the manifesto of a political party, because the manifesto will eventually become law when they get into power. So if you don't agree with their manifesto, don't vote for them. Because whatever that they are selling in their manifesto will eventually become law, because they will say, we're going to implement these things when you get into power. So read the manifesto and see, oh, these ones. There's a political party said if we get into power, municipalities will have to open even on weekends. You see, you can't undermine those things. Because when they get into power, they will be law. They will legislate that. So that's how politics becomes a major role in change. You need to know what is happening around us. So change, when the administration changes, it will directly and indirectly affect you. Politics. So you need to be involved, get involved. You can't stay out of it. People are always criticizing me, but are you in business or are you in politics? And I always say, I'm a human being that seeks to advance people. I try by all means to illuminate people. Be smart. Be a critical thinker. If you see something being proposed, it doesn't matter how long it may take to become legal. But when you see discussions, get involved. When the parliament says we are coming to your area, we want to hear your voice, get involved. Because politics is a major role player in change. So I cannot talk about many things that we have seen in South Africa that has been brought by politics. So even because politically, you vote for the political party, that political party becomes government of the day. And that government, it either gives you good governance or bad governance. So as a result, today we've got South Africa is the highest country with the rate of, in relation to the rate of unemployment. Unemployment is the highest in the world. That's South Africa. So when you vote for a political party, you must know what you are voting for. You are voting for a government. You are voting for people to govern you. So you can get good or bad governance. So politics. So it affects your business, whether you like it or not. So if for instance, the political parties are deciding that we need to have a minimum wage in a country, right? And you want to employ people, you must know what you need to do. Change. You cannot resist those things, but you need to find a way of managing them. Secondly, legal. There are some legal factors that you cannot ignore that will directly affect your business. And I said, certain things that are legal are not right. I remember last week when we were in the leadership session, I said, legal does not mean it's right. But when something is legal, people are expected to enforce it. So as long as it's legal, it must be enforced. So there are some laws that can be legislated which can affect your business. So you need to know how to manage it, how to work around that situation which is against your company. Change management. So legal factors, there are so many. So if, for instance, becomes legal that you cannot go to UK because you're not vaccinated, and you have a business in the UK, and you've got strong beliefs against the vaccine, so what are you going to do? Do you see? Legal factors that are affecting you. So you can't ignore them. Hence, I'm always vocal. I said, I will be vocal about everything that may affect me directly or indirectly, even my family, my loved ones, those I work with, so that I can show this is where we are standing in relation to this. So there are something, legal factors that may destroy your business. So for instance, if we can have law in South Africa, or let me give you an example. What do you call this? It's affirmative action. What does it say in government? Employment equity. What does it say? It says you must make sure that we bridge the gap between 50-50. It's a legal fact. It's a legal fact. And it's not ending there. They are saying now, even business that want to get, if you want to get business with government, even your own business, the one owned by Erick Sithole, it doesn't matter anymore. You want to work with government, right? So show some transformation. So are you going to ignore that? You can't, because you want to. So change management. Then you've got environmental factors. Environmental factors that you cannot ignore. So you want to build something, you want to build a road, and then there are some rules and regulations which says, no, not this, not here. So these things, some of them are beyond your control, but you need to find a way of managing them. There was on legal factors. There was a company that, in fact, it's a government department. They wanted to put electricity in another area, and then what happened is the plan had to, so the installation has to pass a certain farm, and the farm was owned by a private owner. It was not in the hands of government, and the person said, no, you won't be able to do that. So they had to take each other to court, and it's been in court for 7 years. So there's no development, because according to the plan, everything has to pass by Kwesi's apartment, and Kwesi is saying, no, I'm the private owner. So legal factors. Same thing applies to you. You want to build a shopping mall somewhere else. Land disputes. Those things you need to be aware. How? So you're going to cry and say, I'm not going to build anymore. Maybe because Ngoyama Trust doesn't want to approve, or what do you do? Legal factors. Find a way of living and managing those things. So environmental, we had an issue of a drought in the past years, and still here. So if you're in business, construction and so on, the weather, how does that affect your business? And what opportunities can you maximize from those factors? So legal and environmental, they are always the part of us. Then economic factors. Economic factors. Government, because of the, back in 2013 and 2014, they had to implement something called austerity measures. You can't ignore austerity measures. Because what austerity measures do to the economy declines. That's what they call cost-cutting measures. So they affect the economy of a country. How? If I was working with government by 2020, and my revenue from government, I'm owning a catering business, and my revenue was sitting at 2 million rand per annum, and then austerity measures kicks in. Then they say, don't spend so much money on catering. Because that's what they say. the impact of austerity measures in businesses. So which means I will get less business from government. And then what happened to my employees? I have to lay them off. Some of them have to lay it off. Because of what? Austerity measures. So the economy can have an impact in your business, whether you like it or not. The 2008 economic crisis came as a result of what the USA banks did, because they were not verifying. You wanted a loan, they will give you, without checking whether you could afford or not. And then people ended up with huge debt they were unable to pay. And as a result, then countries started suffering. And it was a global crisis. And how many people were affected? A lot. So when the economy is not growing, it means the productivity in a country is slow. And it affects you. It affects you. So government had to implement things like fiscal policy. Fiscal policy, there are two things there. Fiscal policy, government can decide, let us put money, more money, let us inject money in the economy so that the economy can, at least the speed of the economy can grow faster. Or else, businesses are not making much money. We need money as government, so what else are we going to do? Let us tax them higher. Then they're going to raise taxes. VAT has been increased. You see? So which means they've got less disposable income. So the 7,500 rand that you were paying your employee last year is nothing now in 2021. You see? So there's nothing that you need to ignore if you're in business. Understand what is happening, external environmental factors, how they can affect my business. Okay, it's going to affect you directly or indirectly. I'm talking about the consequences of fiscal policy. They can adjust taxation and say, okay, we're going to tax wealthy people higher. Fine. But they've increased what? Value-added tax. So you're not going to feel it because your salary will still come as usually the tax percentage. But now, when you go and buy goods, something is happening there. So you see, you can't ignore these things. But you need to find a way. How am I going to manage during this situation? Change is managed. You don't resist it. You manage it. Then you've got technological factors. And this one is a killer when it comes to private companies. Technological factors. I am of the view that going forward, we're going to have institutes, even in government, that will be useless, like post office. In the coming years, they have to shut it down. And what will happen to the employees of the South African post office? Because people now are saying, okay, there are companies, people are owning companies. Colleagues, as I said, a change can either break or elevate you. What is happening with technological factors? People have got apps. You want to order something, you want to send something, come, I've got a car, I've got a bike, you can drop it, give me the address, I'm going to deliver it to and then that's it. No need for post office. There are so many things technological that are happening. So some companies will have to shut down in future because of technology. Like print media companies. If they continue with this thing of we want to print, they have to shut it down. Because we're going to be a cashless or a paperless country in the coming years. So invest more. So if you've got money, you want to invest in business, look for what is trending. Technology. Who still goes around with cash in his or her wallet. I'm sure Kwezi does. You see, we're going to become a cashless country. Cashless. So whenever you have an idea, understand the factors, or if you're running a business, what factors that are brought by technology which may affect my business? So technology is becoming a threat even into accountants. To accountants. This thing of doing things manually, it's going to end. There are so many innovative systems around that makes it so simple to do the financial statements of a client. Processing, even you're gonna end up just scanning everything, and then the system will read and produce the results. So we need to invest in technology. All businesses. Last time you were owning a cranes. You see, going in future, whatever that you own must have some technology in it. It must assist you to do something faster, productivity. So I think that you see, I don't understand why people are still buying manual cars. For what? For what? Why do you still have a manual car? You want to feel it? But we're gonna phase them out. They'll be phased out soon. Because automatic cars are convenient. Less accidents. Because when ufuna ukushintsha ufuna ukubuka la kuyashintsha iyahla yoshayisa ngemuva uyajuluka uyaphanika then ingozi. So we must move with change. Technology is a key factor that has brought change. For instance, even pictures, sometimes we are using just the camera for professionalism, but you can use phone. There are some phones which are highly advanced than even a camera for change. Lately, even our signatures, we don't need it to sign and scan. You can sign electronically. So change. And legal is accepted. Electronic is accepted. So many things, colleagues, are changing. So you cannot, therefore, ignore technological factors. I said, just that sometimes when I'm teaching, I don't want to use case studies, companies overseas, because I want to use so give me companies. I want to use case study about your company in future. I want to use a case study about Zibuse. I want to use a case study about Dembe attorneys, Mhlongo attorneys, case study about Utulani or city construction. CNTM projects. I want to use a case study on new marketing to see the company technology technology is a factor. Then you've got societal factors that will bring change in your business. Culture. They can decide that in this area you can't build a shopping mall. You can't do that. Societal factors. That's why you need to familiarize. Stakeholder engagement is much important with change management. But so we can't do that. Heritage. There's nothing you can do. I'm sitting we audit committee. We know what I'm talking about. People can block development because of what they conviction about the culture. But no, we are not supposed to do that. Story delays. So you need to familiarize yourself. You cannot just go there and then development. They strongly believe. So culture, societal changes that can have in your business. I'm sure you're familiar with construction. A lot can happen. Recently, we've got the culture. It's a culture. It's a societal. It's a belief amongst the people that we need to have share in your project. Do you agree or not? If you don't agree, okay, it's gonna stay. So we are living with these things. How are you gonna deal with them? Management. Hence, I always say, If you are in business and you know what when it comes, and you are CEO, and you are such a was don't be upfront. Find someone who will learn what we call stakeholder management. You must learn to engage with amakhosi, learn to engage with abantu community, learn to engage with everyone if you want to be successful. Engagement is a key. You know, you can have a lot of money, but if society says nothing will happen in our place, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. Societal factors. So I was sharing with my friends, I said, especially to the white community in Maritzburg, I said to them, going forward, you've seen how the political unrest that happened in July affected businesses. I said, you can change this. Get a buy-in from them. Get them involved in the ownership of your businesses. When it happens next time, they will be the one defending. It's a belief that why should I defend something that I don't own? It's a fact. They were saying that. So why should I go there and defend something that I do not own? How does it benefit me? Yes, I do have a salary, but that's all. Systematically, how does it benefit me? So, beliefs. So you need to know what are the beliefs of the people. If you are working at Nkandla, you are working in Pendle, you need to know the community. What are their beliefs? How will they affect my business? Maybe ababafuna abantu bakoTembe. So the factors. You want to go and work, there's a tension between Nigerians and South Africans. Always has been there. So if you go and start business in Nigeria, you need to know exactly how are you going to live with them. Same thing when they come to South Africa, because there's this tension between these African brothers. So what do they see? What do they know about South Africans? Maybe it's a misconception. We need to create awareness and teach. So these things affect your businesses. Affect your businesses. So when it comes to transformation, if everyone in my company, everyone, the chairperson of my company, the CEO is a black person, how will that affect my business? It's my belief. I want to empower black people. Just like we are always, someone is complaining about the board of Bluet is white. See, everyone is just a white person. I think that was in 2018 or 2019. I can't remember. So, because in our minds, if the company is like that, it means it doesn't want black people. So why must I buy Woolworths? So societal factors, the beliefs that we have about things. So the perception, that goes to say, even the reputation now, the reputation of your company, how does it affect indlela abantu abayibuka ngayo icompany yakho? The reputation of you as an individual, running a company. What impression do people have about it? Societal factors. So I think this is the end. So how to implement change? Then I said, people who need to implement change, they need to contact us. Because it's a sebenza. Change requires implementation. It must be implemented. Number one, you are not permanent, even in your business. You are not permanent in your business. Nothing is permanent. One day you have to leave your business. Number two, some of your best employees will leave you. Number three, there will be some legal factors that will affect your business. How are you going to deal with them? Number four, politics will affect your business. How are you going to deal with that? 5, technology will affect your business. How are you going to deal with that? Societal factors, how are you going to deal with that? So you must be able to implement change. So a legacy. If you want to build a legacy in your business, then you must have change management plan. If I leave, who will take over? will they take the business into the same direction that I wanted it to be, or it will be the end of it? So the purpose of change management, whenever I'm assisting companies, I always tell them in advance, is to make sure that you build something that will outlive you. We must build, I know the background of Black people, especially Africans, that we have suffered so much that we don't want to think about the future. The first thing, if I get money, I need to live at Mhlanga. 2, I have to buy a car. My children have to go to a private school. And then I have to get another house in Sandton. Then that's it. I'm a holiday, Mauritius. Post on Instagram. That's it. So if I die, I've got policies, that's it. But we're not doing that here because we have seen. You look at, it doesn't matter how they started it. The Rupert family, how they started it. The father, and today John Rupert, the son, is still running it. The Oppenheimer. You see, they are called by families. They are not called by names. So we need to have the Sitholes in future. We need to have the Gunenes. They must say we're tired of the Gunenes everywhere. We need the Ngubanes. We need the Ngubanes. And the Ngomalos. See, they must say we are tired. You go into manufacturing sector, the Ngubanes are there. You go into the banking sector, the Ngubanes are there. But that's what I'm talking about. Change management. Nothing must take us by surprise in business. So you see, in your funeral, I'm not saying you're going to die, but I'm saying, in your funeral, you mustn't cry because your business has to shut down. You must cry because we have lost you, but that is Saturday, right? We bury you on Saturday. Monday, the offices must still continue because we are prepared for change. Monday, in the of color, 3 years, come back, man. Yes, so same thing with NMC. You're going to cry on Saturday, right? Monday, quiz about phone. I need that business plan. Where is it? Legacy. But that won't happen if we don't prepare for change. Change can be painful, but it must be managed. So the purpose of these services, whenever I'm assisting companies, I always tell them, is to build a long-lasting business that will outlive you. You will die, you're not permanent. I will die, but the business must still be there. Must still survive the test of times. Hence, it is very important. Once the company has grown, because yours is growing, find time, mentor someone to take your position while you are still living. I shared with some of you in 2018 the journey of entrepreneurship. I said, once you are at 40 to 60, use those years to groom someone who will take over from you because you are at a risk. You cannot run away from sickness. It is there. We live by faith, I agree, but you don't need to ignore the reality. We live by faith, but you can't ignore reality. Change. Uzovela kuthiwa usakwazi ukukhuluma. Ubani osumgrumile for your business. Change management. Succession planning. We want to build a strong business for future here. We are not permanent. So same thing applies. But I know because what happens in our profession is that if I'm an accountant, for my business to continue practicing, there has to be another accountant. So do you have such people? Or it's a one-man show? So if there's a professional body that says we require such a practice number for this business to do this, it cannot only by my practice number. Then I need to get 5 or 10 practice numbers. So that even when I'm gone, this business will exist. You see, if you talk about PwC, you cannot point it to one person. Deloitte, you cannot point it to one person. KPMG, you cannot. It's a group of individuals. It's a network of people. Let us build such things. But those things cannot happen if we don't understand change management. So I said to our team last week, they said, you know what, the NMC is Erick. I said, no, NMC is not Erick. NMC is everyone. NMC should be everyone. Because when one day I'm being arrested, this business mustn't suffer. So When you arrest me one day, because I'm vocal even in politics, you know, yeah, NMC must still live. So it must not be built upon Erick, because Erick is a human being. He's got different values of the system, and he's vocal. So anyone, don't build your business to yourself. Build it to people. Only change management can help you do that. So, okay, it's an overview. I don't get in details on how do I do that. I'm just giving an idea why you need change management in your business. So that's the end of the session. Thank you so much for coming.